roles in anime. Since we discussed women's roles last time, I figured let's trip the light fantastic and discuss what men are doing. In the words of our own lovely advisor, what are men responsible for doing in anime? Killing things! That's about all they're good for, and I added having sex. That's really about it. Here. Now, don't get me wrong, I like men. I spent most of my cosplay career as a man. I write mostly as a guy. I voice act mostly as a guy. So I have nothing against men. I'm not some man-hating, oobale feminist. Just saying, men in anime, if you think women were useless, men are useless, but in categories, which it makes it sad. So let's briefly go over some of these men's roles. So a brief introduction. This is far too complicated than what my PowerPoint can explain. I mean, we're talking like senior dissertation level of what these male archetypes, for all you EA and EN people, what these archetypes are. So I've only gone over a few, but this is what research is for. How often do I tell you guys research? Entirely too often. You should be doing it. It's important. So here's my disclaimer. This is meant to be in part satirical. There's a lot of it that is founded in true knowledge, but there's a lot of this that's too funny. Also, any character that I've selected, don't get all fangirl bitchy over it. It wasn't intended to cause fangirl strife. Fangirl strife is the #1 leading cause of fangirls, just letting you know. Cause of that. That and being hit by cars.
Why are they hit by cars?
Oh, there's actually, at A-Con, a Shishomaru cosplayer was hit by a car because someone thought it was a dog. Like a large stray coyote. So off of I-20, someone hit a Shishomaru, and I think he actually died. I'm just saying.
Did they hit him because he was a dog, not because they...
No, they hit him because they thought he was a large stray dog.
So they were making a stray dog.
What the heck? I'm going to have to ask you guys not to ask. It's still very, very painful to the fan community. Not really.
Maybe you shouldn't have been in the road.
Yeah, maybe you shouldn't have been walking along the highway.
I know.
In full costume. It would get dirty. So, let's have our basic roles. We have the Bishi, the hero, the villain, the idiot, the village idiot, the pervert, the god mod, the neutral party, / comic relief. Yes. Bishi we'll actually discuss very, very briefly, so hold that question and I will explain. So let's get started. Yes, they are all men. Just saying. They are all men. So this is the Bishi. Bishi comes from the term Bishionen, which means basically the pretty boy. The Bishi is the gorgeous, always there, perfectly coiffed hair, always well dressed, but usually very, very useless. They usually can't do anything. They're nice to look at, but typically that's about all. I mean, other examples come to mind. Some people argue that Fi and Tsubasa is a bit of a Bishi. Like, wow, congratulations, you're really, really pretty. And what else can you do?
Wasn't Sasuke supposed to be...
Sasuke was supposed to be the Bishi of the series, and then apparently Naruto got too hot. I don't believe any of that. This is purely fangirl, and then Gaara apparently took over as Bishi of the series. Just saying, I don't believe in any of these things. I think there are no Bishis in Naruto outside of Kakashi Sensei. Just saying. I date my age group. So, the Bishi typically appears to have all the answers. They typically look like they're very well capable, and then something happens. And you realize, wow, this individual is useless. Again, throwing flowers is a completely effective attack. Note from Kenryu and Bleach and a bunch of other characters. The only time throwing flowers is effective is Byakuya, and he's the Bishi of that series as well.
Or Kurama.
Or Kurama. But he was the Bishi of Yu Yu Hakusho. So,
But he wasn't a tool.
But he was
no, he was not a tool. Very, very good. Now, the Bishi can be completely faithful or it can be a tool. Be very, very careful with that. Note, your Bishi can either be the most aggravating person in the entire world because he is screwing everything, or he's the most loyal and creepy individual ever. Yeah, like Tuxedo Mask. Or Tamaki and Oron. Yeah, that kind of so remember characterization for that romantic prince type? The Bishi is usually that type, and that kind of be really, really endearing or really, really, really creepy. Any questions on the Bishi? What are some positive aspects to being the pretty boy?
always...
I'm going to say something, but I...
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, that's funny. Get over women.
Well, and moreover, and we learn this in society, when you're pretty, you can get shit done.
Yeah, people like pay attention.
Absolutely, no. We all know who this is. Well, at least people born in the 90s know who this is. We all know who he is, despite being the most useless character in the what we're all yelling at the screen.
But
Yeah?
wasn't he not useless, like, eventually?
Well,
he gained some kind of, like,
Not really. Not kind of. In the same way we all say Ichigo became useful.
He did?
Yes! Ichigo became
everyone else is kind
useful.
of-
I just think of that one clip where it's like the Mario theme, where he gets his finger cut and
Yeah,
he's
when
dead.
Aizen like is, oh wait, you haven't gotten that far. You need to catch up.
No,
Anyways.
like, and also, like, if you're not doing anything, there's a bunch of people around you doing all this stuff, and I guess you can, like, hide.
Absolutely, but the problem with being a Bishi is it's kind of hard to hide when you're that hot.
Well, no,
So like think of, well,
why.
I know what you're saying, but like think of all those like huge like cast anime. So like think of the Bishis and so let's go to Bleach. We're talking like Uryu's one of them, Ichigo's one of them.
I mean, these, like, notice that people watching that.
Absolutely. And then you go back especially, and I challenge you all, a lot of these older anime you haven't seen in a while, go back and notice exactly how useless these men are. It's hilarious, and the women also.
Isn't that character from Bleach who's, like, has the peacock blade supposed to be, like, a joke of...
Oh,
that
Yumi
character?
Chika is meant to be sort of a throwback to Tuxedo Mask, but he's also a whole lot more conceited. So he's more of a general satire of the Bishi as a whole. He's meant to be the over flamboyant pretty boy. He's meant to be the pretty boy gone awry. Because this is a pretty boy that knows he's pretty. Yeah?
And like a series Blue Gender,
Mhm.
a while back, like the main character was pretty much Bishi because he didn't really do anything. Everybody else around him did everything
Mhm.
for him pretty much.
And moreover, typically when you're in that series, you don't notice. So like, Full Metal Alchemist, Roy Mustang, he's the Bishi of that series. No one really knows how little Mustang is doing until I think we get to like that episode where it's that filler episode where we see Mustang actually does nothing in his office, and we're all kind of wondering, how in the hell did you get promoted? You did not kill that many Ishbalans. How did you get promoted? So that's in short the Bishi. Now there are plenty of positive aspects to being a Bishi. They're very, very important series. We have nothing to look at if Bishis didn't exist. But they can overall be sort of boring. They all start melding together and it just becomes very, very aggravating. We have the hero! He's here to save us all, or kill us. I'm not entirely sure. Usually try to kill us all. Just saying. Typically, yeah, the hero's an overzealous moron. We're thinking, yep, that's about it. Total
I
idiot.
don't want to say it, but gosh,
Yeah, he is. He's the hero, but he's a complete idiot.
Oh, Shishomaru was the Bishi of...
Shishomaru was, and he was in league tied with Naraku for being Bishi. It
Yeah.
actually...
Because Naraku knows other beings from his, like, living.
Yeah, but
doing things.
Naraku still did more. Think of, like, really inactive characters and...
Yeah, because he still, like, went.
Yeah, he still at least moved around.
Yeah, even with body.
So, the hero, unfortunately, is really the only person keeping the series moving along. If we were to kill this person, despite how useless they may be... Exactly, despite how useless Inuyasha is, like 99% of the time, of how useless he really is, and how much he relies on like Sango, Moroku, Kagome every once in a while, if we kill Inuyasha, well, there's the end of the series.
Well, because he's the title.
No, even if it wasn't him as the title,
You need a balance.
he's the central driving force. Without it, what else is banding together this, little merry men of thieves? What else is getting this group together? So if you think of like Italia, America's there to foil a lot of their characters. Now, I use him as the hero because he's self-claimed and it looked cute when I was going through the thing. So, there's plenty of other examples, but think of our history as Americans. Think of World War II, the Marshall Plan. Hey, we decimated this landscape. Let's go in and fix it. And then at the same time, let's destroy your culture, ruin your economy, and supplant it with our own. Wait, what? And then you step back and realize how horrible this is. But yet we as Americans have the right to go in and save everyone. No.
My mom always said the right to stupidity.
The absolute right to stupidity. Because we damn as Americans cheat ourselves to death, and that's our desire. So, the hero, unfortunately, is the only thing keeping the series moving along. And it's painful watching. Anyone that has a brain going through Inuyasha was like, really? 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 We have to wait for Naraku to appear? You can't just hop over and find him, honestly?
I know, and like when they would stop and start like talking before they fought, I was like, why did you fight already?
Other great examples of that, we're talking like Goku. Anyone watch Dragon Ball Z? Remember those wonderful long expositionary
why are you talking?
statements?
Kill the person.
I mean, the big word, okay, dead. Everyone's dead. There you go. Series over. So, the hero does play a purpose, but to anyone who's thinking, it's actually a really,
Like Ichigo.
just like Ichigo.
Ichigo's first of all.
Yeah, Ichigo was much worse. He had to rely on far too many people. We have the villain!
How does the, oh wait, never mind. Well, because you're going to get to other categories. I was going to ask, how does like school life anime like fit into the males from school life anime fit into?
School life was more in the, when we go into some characterization again, we'll talk about school structure. I'm not really going into that right now because I'm thinking more in the lines of like a shonen.
Yeah.
Because school life is very shoujo and that's very romanticized. You're not going to get these people in a shoujo.
Yeah, much.
Or it's going to be seriously toned down. It's like the villain, as opposed to like Daraku, who's legitimately trying to kill people. The villain may be the person trying to run against you for student body president. We see how that's not very equal. So we'll go into school life when we do characterization again because we'll actually look at the hierarchy of a school, which will be very, very interesting to look at because it's not entirely too different from ours. Oh, Gakko and Death. So here we have our villain, and usually the villain's just as pretty as Tsubishi, which is terrifying. What does that teach us about our society?
Pretty people get stuff done.
Moreover, that we are surprisingly more receptive to evil than we think. And not like the cutesy, whoa, take over the world evil, like, I'm going to kill you and destroy your land evil, which is what Naraku was.
I guess, like, if the hero is just intellectually, like, sound as a villain, the series is kind of...
Well, and note, whenever a hero is as intellectually sound, what do they end up becoming? Very good. So look at Aizen, and look at Ichimaru, and look at Tozen,
yeah.
and look at, let's go to Naruto, let's look at Sasuke.
Death Note?
When you have someone that's smart, that's typically a negative thing. And we'll discuss that with men's roles especially is, why to be intelligent must that be so negative? And then you get to like the National Hikikomori Society, where there are so many pressures on guys about being men, that it's absolutely debilitating what makes a man a man. So it is very interesting that you bring it up that to be a villain you have to be intelligent. But if the hero's on the same level as the villain, either you have no series, or the hero really is a villain.
Like Kojia?
Just like Kogia. Oh, Lulu. We didn't really know what he was. We still don't. Do we really even know what he was doing?
Nope.
Was he a good guy? Was he a bad guy? Sort of neutral party? He was pretty. So, unfortunately, despite all these things, the hero will find some way to defeat the villain.
What would Congra be? I mean, I know where it's like...
Kagura is sort of a neutral party because she has no independent will. Like, I mean, I'm sure if she had more freedom, she'd be able to do more, but she doesn't, so no question. But, so an Oniguma would be an interesting aspect of that, because we don't really know exactly how evil he was. They say he was like, he was evil and sell his soul to demons. So like, well, I mean, feudal Japan evil, that's not so bad. I mean, there aren't nukes or guns or anything like that. So, I mean, feudal Japan evil is just sort of aggravating. It's not really that bad. So the villain, despite how intelligent they are, will eventually, in some way, fall to the hero. Now, when I say fall, I do not mean that the hero will win. As we've seen in Bleach, I guess, Damali, close your ears, no one's able to defeat Aizen. Not even Ichigo and all the God Mod powers. We have to bind him and then even gag him so he can't utter any kind of Kido. So eventually, the villain will find a way to fall, you're good, but the hero will find a way to overcome that. Even if it doesn't mean, you know, slaying the dragon or anything like that.
Because Naruto can just die.
Yes! He's died so many times.
Yeah.
We really stopped questioning. I mean, do we ever really get like a hardcore... yes, he is dead.
Okay.
Like,
Dead.
He turns into a spider and like
dead.
He's dead.
He's dead. Just leave it in his dead. That's what you're doing this.
Well, because there's already been rumors of a sequel to Final Act. No, it's a horrible thing. Don't throw the plot. It's an awful thing. May I move on?
Yeah.
No, I'm asking you.